wholeheartedly welcome you and thank you for your participation in the conference today. Kusumgar is a manufacturer of woven, coated and laminated synthetic fabrics, commonly referred to as engineered fabrics. We are extremely glad to launch the Kusumgar IPO. The issue will open for subscription on 8th July, which is Wednesday, and close on 10th July, which is Friday. Anchor bidding will be concluded one day prior on 7th of July, which is Tuesday. The total issue size is 650 crores, including an employee reservation portion of 3.5 crores. The price point set for the IPO is 398 to 419. We sincerely look forward to your support in making this IPO a huge success. Thank you. I will now hand over to the company to give a brief introduction of the business.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Kusumgar, Chairman and Managing Director at Kusumgar Limited. I joined this company 26 years back. This company was started by my father in 1970. થોડું ગુજરાતીમાં પણ બોલી ચાલશે? તો ફાધર 1970માં બિઝનેસ ચાલુ કરેલું હતું. Before that he was a professor, teacher હતા કોલેજમાં, મુંબઈ ટેક્સટાઇલ યુનિવર્સિટીમાં. કુસુમગઢના 3 ફેઝિસ રહ્યા છે, 1970 થી 2008, 2008 to 2020 and 2022 આજ સુધી. 1970 થી લઈને 2008 સુધી ફાધર પાસે કેપિટલ બહુ લિમિટેડ હતું, જેથી he used to trade into high specialty fabrics. અમુક મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગ પર નાખ્યું ઓવર તો 2008 સુધી એ ચાલ્યું. 2005માં સપના હું ફાધર એક એક્ઝિબિશનમાં ગયેલા ફ્લેટ ટેક્સટાઇલ ફ્રેન્કફર્ટ. બહુ સરસ ઇન્ક્વાયરી આવી, બહુ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ આવ્યો લોકોનો, પણ પાછા આવ્યા તો ખબર પડી કે બેક એન્ડ ઇન્ફ્રાસ્ટ્રક્ચર હતું નહીં. એ વખતે કંપનીની સાઇઝ વોઝ અરાઉન્ડ 30 crores. So we decided to do a capex of 38 crores at a 30 crore size. તો 2008માં એ પ્રોજેક્ટ ચાલુ થયો. 2008 to 2011 we struggled with that project. Everything that could go wrong went wrong with that project. 2011 થી the project started stabilizing, and over the years till 2016 I think we were peaked out on that capacity જ્યારે નાખી હતી. 2016માં next capex કરવાનું હતું. ત્યારે વિચાર્યું કે શું what next. So apart from project, I said that we need to invest into people also. So that's how we started building a strong team of people with strong capabilities, which took while until 2020. 2020, post 2020, we had, because of the pandemic, because of various geopolitical situations, there were a number of opportunities which came our way. Because we have the back-end infrastructure, because we have the expertise, because we have the right team in place, that's how we could achieve an 8x, almost 8x from 2020 till today. So yeah, so that's broadly the history of Kusumgar. Request everyone to participate in this IPO. Thank you everyone.
Hi, હું સપના કુસુમગર, જોઈન્ટ મેનેજિંગ ડિરેક્ટર. મેં કંપની અરાઉન્ડ 20 વર્ષ પહેલાં જોઈન કરી અને હંમેશા મારો પેશન રહ્યું છે કે કંપનીને ફ્રોમ વિધિન ગ્રો કરવું. સો ટ્રેનિંગ પીપલ, સ્ટ્રેન્થનિંગ ધ ટીમ, પ્રોસેસીસ, એક કલ્ચર બિલ્ડ કરવાનું, ઇનોવેશન, પ્રોગ્રેશનનું, દેટ હેઝ બીન માય એફર્ટ. એઝ પ્રમોટર્સ અમારું ડ્યુટી છે કે રોડમેપ ક્રિએટ કરીએ કંપની માટે, અને પછી એક એન્વાયરમેન્ટ ક્રિએટ કરીએ કંપનીમાં જેમાં વી ગીવ અ સેફ નર્ચરિંગ પ્લેસ કે લોકો એમાં પોતાનો રોલમાં એક્સેલ કરી શકે. ગ્રોથ સાથે સ્ટ્રોંગ ગવર્નન્સ ઇઝ ઓલ્સો વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ, જે અમારું ગોઈંગ ફોરવર્ડ વિલ બી અવર ફોકસ. because we believe કે એ જ વસ્તુ લોંગ ટર્મ વેલ્યુ ક્રિએટ કરશે કંપની માટે અને શેર હોલ્ડર્સ માટે. I thank you for being here, અમારી આ જોડીમાં.
अच्छी नहीं है, so I'll continue in English. Hello. My name is Ankur Kothari. I'm Executive Director and CEO at Kusumgar. I'll just be taking you through a brief presentation about the company, our products, our growth strategies, and our plans going forward. Just some information about the proposed issue. This is publicly available information, but for you to note. These are the dates associated with our IPO. Bid opens on July 8th, closes on July 10th, and commencement of trading is expected on July 15th. Kusumgar is a manufacturer of engineered fabrics and end products made from those engineered fabrics. What are engineered fabrics? Engineered fabrics are fabrics that are being made to serve a particular performance requirement. It's not for aesthetic purposes. Right? Kusumgar as a company, our core expertise has been in polyamide and polyester filaments and polyurethane resins and films. And associated with these materials, wherever we find that there is a right application, we have gone ahead in those applications. Okay? Typically, where are these materials used? These are used wherever performance parameters like tensile strength, abrasion resistance, air permeability, waterproofing, breathability, wherever these performance parameters are important, we end up supplying those products. For example, parachutes mein tensile strength and air permeability are very critical. If you look at military applications, a combination of durability, but at the same time waterproofing and breathability is super important. If you look at automotive, the kind of things that we do, abrasion resistance is very critical, right? So our choice of end application is driven by which performance parameters we are trying to solve and where our materials are relevant. Wherever we felt that there is a very strong IP or very strong know-how we have built, we have also forward integrated into end products. For example, in parachutes, we started by making just the fabric, but now we make the full parachute system. In camouflage equipment also, we started by making the textile, but now we make the full assembled camouflage unit that can be supplied to a military. A majority of our business, even traditionally, from Sahib Yogesh Kusumgar's time to even now, has come from aerospace and defense. And while we have reasonable diversification across automotive and activewear segments, the growth in aerospace and defense industry in India has been driven by both a focus towards indigenization, led by Modi ji's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and subsequently, DAP 2020, which said that everything that has to be procured by the Indian military has to be made in the country. Also the fact that new threats coming from drones, coming from satellites and their surveillance has required that we modernize our products so that we can protect our assets here in the country. So, and the third thing is that globally geopolitical tensions are increasing. Around the world, all the countries are ramping up their defense budgets. So all of these things have led to a very fast growth in our aerospace and defense business. Second vertical of ours is activewear, where we work with a few brands, where we supply them fabrics for track pants, jackets, rainwear, winter clothing, these kinds of products. We only do nominated business, where the brand nominates us as a supplier, and the garment company is expected to buy it from us, but it's a small part of our overall revenue. And then I have a very nice automotive business. It's been a very steady business for us, a very nice and stable kind of a business, also growing steadily. The core, at the heart of our business lies what we like to call process knowledge. Let's say a company or a customer comes to you with a problem. How to solve that problem? And what is this problem? It will be, I need a fabric of 50 grams, but it needs to have 1000 cycles of abrasion resistance, and it needs to have 3000 mm of water of breathability, right? Now, how do you work with the raw materials and the process parameters to be able to create a product that meets that requirement? That is the core of our business. We like to call it process knowledge. Inherently, as a company, our focus has been on doing products that require a lot of differentiation, and that is the strategy that we'll continue to go ahead with. We have been very lucky to have long-standing relationships with key customers, primarily due to the fact that we decide to enter markets with high entry barriers and provide a strong service so that they do not need to thereafter look for other sources. Just a quick summary of our business. As explained earlier, our core expertise lies in polyamide and polyester filaments and polyurethane resins and films. In a particular year, around 2/3 of our revenue comes from aerospace and defense, and then the remaining portion from industrial and automotive businesses. Our margins are north of 25%. And if you take a 3-year view, we have been growing at 20% plus CAGR. Just a quick summary of the range of products that we manufacture and supply in our aerospace and defense business. So we supply fabrics and then we supply finished goods. On the fabric side, we supply the full range of fabrics for parachute systems. Our parachute system fabrics are used all over the world by pretty much all the major OEMs, and the products cover the full gamut of fabrics required for this industry. Thereafter, the other large vertical for us within aerospace and defense fabrics is for tactical clothing and specialty gear. Just to be very clear, we do not make fabrics for uniforms. That's a different technology. That's spun technology, and we do filament, right? But within filament, what we do very well is fabrics for bulletproof jackets, fabrics for super high winter and super high altitude clothing, high performance rainwear, load carrying equipment like rucksacks, kit bags, and the likes, sleeping bags, and I may be missing out a few applications, but in that range. And then I think a fast growing segment for us here has been stealth. With drones and satellites reaching of enemy countries being able to surveil us, you need to be able to have coverings for important assets that protect us from infrared, thermal, and radar signatures. So our products are able to do so, and that's been a very exciting and interesting business for us to grow. Within the aerospace and defense solutions business, we have forward integrated from some of our existing capabilities. So starting out as a manufacturer of parachute fabrics, today we manufacture full parachute systems. That's been a business that has done very well for us in the last few years, and we expect it to continue doing very well both domestically and in exports going forward. Stealth systems, the extension of manufacturing 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional camouflage nets, ghillie suits, and the likes. Rapid deployment and some maintenance and repair service agreements. In our activewear business, as I mentioned earlier, our products cater to athleisure, winter wear, rainwear, and the likes. Here also, the focus is on providing a high performance product, right? This entire industry used to be out of East Asia. Recently, a few manufacturers, including us, have started manufacturing these products in country, and a few brands have shifted their supply chains to India. We are very excited about future prospects for this business, and we believe it has very large market that can be captured. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have an automotive and industrial business in which the largest segment is fabrics for wire harness tapes. One of our key advantages is that our manufacturing operations are completely vertically integrated. We start from preparatory and weaving, going up to processing, which includes dyeing, heat setting, washing, printing, calendaring, and so on, coating and lamination, and then custom fabrication. Being vertically integrated allows us full control over quality, cost, and delivery. But more importantly, it allows you to develop a customized product as per your customer's requirement. If you were to try and do something unique, but you don't have the full set of assets, you will not be able to do so. So having the full control over the process, allows us to serve our customers well. All our factories are in the state of Gujarat, in Vapi and outside Surat. We are very proud and we are very happy with the operations that we have set up here, and we hope to continue expanding in this region. The other strong advantage that our operations carry is that we are able to do rapid prototyping and testing. So a lot of investment and both in terms of infrastructure and people into our laboratory and our product development capabilities. You can look at some of our certifications, which are actually very difficult to get. For example, the AS9100D certification, which is an aerospace standard, and the IATF 16949, which is an automotive standard. Spurred by our customers, we have improved our processes and strengthened our systems to be able to serve them. A quick summary of our strengths. I think our most important strength is the fact that we typically start by saying that we will operate in markets with high entry barriers. It's easy to say and a little more difficult to do, right? But if you start by saying that I want to do something that is nobody else in this country is currently being able to do, obviously it takes a very long time and there is a lot of frequent failures, but when you win the business, it is stable, it is profitable, and it further leads to more and more high value opportunities. So that's been the strategy. Our focus on the aerospace and defense market is also coming out of our strategy to focus on high entry barrier end markets. Our second capability, coming out of the first one, is our technical capabilities allow us to create such products for such demanding customers. And I'll explain that a lot more. There is a continuous focus right from the promoters downwards to the team to continue improving on our technical capabilities every day. As we keep doing that, our ability to serve our customers keeps improving. Third strength for us is that we are not dependent largely on one end market. Certain companies, let's say if you're a drone company, or let's say if you are a fashion-oriented company, you basically have one end market, and if the one end market struggles, typically you end up struggling a lot. So both in terms of diversified customer base, we have around 30 to 40% exports, and diversified end markets. We are very well diversified, so even though certain products and markets could undergo some volatility, our business remains stable. We are very proud to have long-standing relationships with key customers. By the fact that we operate in markets with high entry barriers, most of these relationships tend to be long-term. In my memory, I do not recall losing a customer in the last 6-7 years. If you are servicing them well, they typically stay. A very less understood strength of Kusumgar is that we have been there for decades in the industry, and over a period of time we have built credibility and strong relationships with several industry partners. This allows us privileged access to designs, to IP, to know-how, to certain raw materials, etc., which others are not able to. Kusumgar is seen as a reliable and strong technology-oriented partner, and that has allowed us access to large businesses which otherwise people would be very afraid of sharing their IP with anyone else. So that's been a very important strength. And last but not the least, I think the culture that has been built by the promoter family, that is being from the founder itself and carried forward by Mr. Kusumgar, Siddharth Kusumgar, has led to a culture where innovation is promoted, where quality is promoted, and an experienced professional management team has been set up over the last few years that allows us to turbocharge this growth. Just a few examples of high entry barriers market. For example, we love to participate in markets which has some sensitive life preserving features, right? For example, super high altitude clothing like at Siachen Glacier, for example, or bulletproof jackets, or parachutes, paragliding. So those are kind of applications where approvals are very difficult, but once approvals are received, very good margins, very good pricing, and generally stable kind of businesses. Another example is that we are, as a company, a very patient company. We typically see that a typical product approval takes, at the earliest around 18 to 24 months, and some of them end up taking more than 5-7 years also. As a company, we keep investing in R&D, keep in touch, and therefore that allows that when the business comes in, it typically is very stable. In terms of technical capabilities, there are several, but maybe I would like to highlight a couple of them. One is that Kusumgar is very, very strong at manufacturing fine denier, which essentially means very, very lightweight, very thin fabrics, right? And the other strength is handling nylons, right? In India, largely all the manufacturers focused on building capabilities in cotton, which was obvious because we were always a cotton-dominated country. And then I think because of Reliance and everyone, people focused a lot on polyester also. Kusumgar chose an unusual strategy of focusing on nylons, which in hindsight allowed us to build strong expertise, strong relationships in the industry, which has stood us in good stead. Several relationships. In fact, a majority of our business comes from customers whom we have known for a very long time. I can take an example of example of Decathlon, whom we first started working in 2020. There was a very strong interest by them to localize manufacturing of fabrics, for their requirements in India. Today, I am very proud to say that they are one of our top customers, and not only that, a large portion of what we do with them is actually exported. So this gives us the confidence that working with a customer in a relationship of trust and partnership over a period of time can lead to large outcomes. Some of the partnerships that we have given us access. For example, our finished parachutes business originally got started because of our relationship with an American parachute company, in fact the largest parachute company, and they gave us licenses which allowed us to start manufacturing these parachutes in India. Today, not only does Kusumgar manufacture parachutes for the Indian military, but we have in a large number now started exporting these also. So, these partnerships have allowed us know-how, designs, licenses, raw materials, which have been a large portion of our growth. We spoke about the team, our founder, Chairman Emeritus Yogesh Bhai, unfortunately because he couldn't join us here today because of health reasons. So besides the people on the dais, we have 3 independent directors, very well qualified, who drive us to ensure strong corporate governance and policies to protect, so that we stay and do the right thing, not only in the letter of the law, but also in spirit. We are backed by an experienced management team. This is not a full list. Besides myself, we have Mr. Anil Gupta, who has more than 25 plus years of experience. He's our President Operations, looking after our 3 sites and 7 factories. Mr. Narendra Jain, who leads strategy, commercial, overall commercial matters. We have separate segment heads and our head of R&D and technology. So Kusumgar, if you look at from last 6-7 years perspective, like Siddharth Bhai also mentioned, we have grown 8x in the last 6 years, there is a little bit of a blip in the current year because of some defense orders, but we have been able to maintain our profitability and improve it. We have had a large recent capex expansion in the last 2 years, which has led to a which is currently operating at 50-55% utilization. As that improves, we expect our ROC to return to the traditional levels. In terms of our strategies for the business, I think for our aerospace and defense business, we have a 3-pronged strategy. Firstly, there are several places where I am the current supplier, the incumbent manufacturer, and I think our strategy is to make sure that we retain that business, and not only retain it, but also provide them value-added products so that we keep growing there. Thereafter, we want to, wherever we have penetrated already, but maybe we have one or two products only, the idea is for us to keep increasing the range of products to those customers. Particularly, this is for exports, right? For, let's say foreign militaries today, let's say we are supplying one product, but we can do, for Indian military, let's say we are doing 20. So we have to go from 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 there. So in each of those countries and those markets, we keep extending. And I think building, right? At any point in time, we have several new product development requests, new market development requests to continue building in those markets, to continue expanding our product range to cater to new customers and requirements. In the global, for my activewear business, which is younger business for us, but very fast growing, there is a very clear focus on indigenization by various brands, and over a period of time, we have started to be seen as cost competitive. We are very hopeful about the UK and EU FTAs, which shall further boost this. But even without that, there is a very large market for indigenization, which is currently being imported into the country. In the industrial automotive business, I think our strategies are to continue expanding our share of wallet with existing customers, and at the same time extending the product range to start catering to new customers. I think, just to explain, the growth of our business, so one part is existing products, so existing customers and expanding our share of wallet with them. Then there is finding new customers for existing products. These are the easy ones. But the majority of growth for Kusumgar is going to come from increasing the product range. New technologies, new segments that we are entering into, that, even in the last, if you look at the exponential growth that we have had over the last 7-8 years, that has actually come through every year entering into new segments. So that is where the larger emphasis of the company is, that at any point in time, we keep expanding the product range, keep entering into completely new areas that are not even there today, and that is going to be the majority driver of growth for the company. And our focus is that whenever we are selecting a segment, we take something that is inherently difficult and high margin. So with that, we have decided all of these segments are not really mentioned in the RHP, but there is a very strong growth pipeline in place. And to be able to do that, I think what you need is to be able to have great people, people who are technically oriented, people who have the right can-do spirit, people who want to do something innovative and new and different. And then currently setting up a culture that rewards this can-do spirit and that incentivizes growth. So that's the culture that the company has built and continues to work on.